in the crypto space, these people are like token founders or just people that are really like big like people with influence and stuff, and they act like, oh no, I'm really in it for the technology. I really believe in this, when they're in it for the money, and they're just not being truthful. I mean, that's okay to say you're in it for the money, but it's like, oh, this is really cool technology. I think because it's so cool, I think it's going to do very well, and I'm going to do well. That's half the time I think that's what we want, and then that's why when you hear anyone actually saying the truth, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Now the question I had for you in terms of like as an Australian, because you would really have a good like sort of sense for this. Now I've been watching what's been going on with Australia for a long time in terms of I've always been kind of like in not anti-Chinese Chinese people, but anti-Chinese government, and obviously they've been buying property there. The Australian government owes a lot of money to China, and I was seeing a lot of videos, not this year, but early last year, of basically them going full commando lockdown and like fucking people up outside their house for if they wouldn't stay in.
Mm-hmm.
And that seemed more like, was that more like the Australian government doing it to themselves or pressure under China, you think?
I think it was pressure under China because you look at how similar, in particular Victoria's, where Melbourne is, right?
Yeah.
The response of that state, how similar that is to the response in China, right?
Right.
And then think about Australia is owned by the Chinese. Like all the real estate in Melbourne, the real estate in Sydney, the real estate in Perth, like it's all tons of it is owned by Chinese investors.
Right.
And then you also like China is like the biggest trading partner with Australia. We export all the coal that we mine there.
Coal, steel, copper. I mean,
Tons of
all
stuff.
the metal. All the metal.
It's all exported to China, right? So think about that, and then think about, okay, well, who is probably, giving payouts to politicians in Australia? It's probably going to be the Chinese.
No, but politicians don't take payouts, bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
of course not.
Of course, man. What are you talking? We're talking crazy now,
That's why Nancy Pelosi is the best investor of all time.
Yo, that's pretty basic.
she's unbeatable, man.
Unbeatable. But she just stepped down, and she's out of so she just now that she's left, she's down like 20% on the year.
Yeah. Magical somehow.
We're gonna.
Oh, look, she was on a good run.
She's gonna. Hey, it doesn't last forever, you guys.
But you take into consideration how much of real estate in Australia is owned by Chinese.
Right.
Take into consideration that it's their major export, major customer for exports.
Yes.
Also, Australia's, I think, third biggest export is actually education. Yeah, like foreign students in universities.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of our biggest industries. And
you mean Chinese to? Okay, got it.
Like
okay.
as in like students coming to Australia to study.
Because
Australians get like some kind of like loan. So Australians can go to university on like a loan and not pay up front. But international students have to pay up front. So international students are a massive
buku money.
Massive money. And the vast majority of them come from China.
Got it.
Vast majority. Even I went back to Bulga University and I was just walking around the campus and like vending machines are in Chinese now. And I was like, wow, that's changed. That was like, when did I leave? When I was 21, 22?
This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for like a well-traveled Australian guy. You know what I mean? Like an Aussie. You know what I mean? But like,
that's changed.
But